Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is Wyln News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. Wyln News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Wyln News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Flames ripped through a multi-unit apartment building yesterday evening in Wilkes-Barre. Firefighters were called after 6 Sunday evening for a working structure fire in the 300 block of North Washington Street. Crews worked for hours to battle the blaze between the building walls, as flames and smoke could reportedly be seen for miles. Officials say 4 apartments were severely damaged and that 8 people, including 3 children, were living there. Luckily, everyone made it out safely, including a dog, and are being helped by the Red Cross. The cause remains under investigation by fire officials in Wilkes-Barre. A Hazleton man was arrested after state police infiltrated an alleged illegal pill sale spanning 2 counties. A traffic stop in Pike County turned up 18,500 blue pills stamped M30, which were identified as 30 milligram oxycodone hydrochloride tablets. One of the passengers cooperated with troopers by delivering the pills to 25-year-old Luis Polanco Espinal, who was expecting them. A call was then placed to set up to meet at the Walmart in Hazel Township, where he arrived and took the pills from the informant before troopers placed him into custody. Polanco Espinal faces charges of manufacture, delivery, or possession with intent to manufacture or deliver, possession of a controlled substance, use or possession of drug paraphernalia, and criminal use of a communication facility. His bail was set at $100,000. 2 Wilkes-Barre men were sentenced on fentanyl trafficking offenses. According to police, James Garris Jr. and Alilio Tejeda, along with 5 others, were part of an investigation into a drug trafficking operation that resulted in death. Garris was sentenced to serve 14 years in prison, while Tejeda was sentenced to just over 4 years. Garris had previously pled guilty to distributing fentanyl that resulted in death. Their co-conspirators are currently awaiting sentencing. A Nescopec father was sentenced after allegedly crushing his 11-week-old baby to death back in 2019. 24-year-old Jeffrey Hutchinson was charged by state police back in September of 2019 after he and his girlfriend found the baby unresponsive and drove the infant to the Berwick Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Hutchinson previously pled guilty to aggravated assault and child endangerment in a plea deal that spared him criminal homicide charges. Prosecutors say he repeatedly squeezed his son, whose crying kept him up at night, and caused the baby's death. Hutchinson was sentenced to serve up to 10 years in state prison, but was given credit for already serving the last 2.5. A Plymouth man was charged over the weekend after a fight that broke out inside Mohegan Sun Casino that sent 1 man to the hospital. Police were called around midnight Saturday for reports of a fight that broke out in Breaker's Bar. The victim told officers that 46-year-old Paul Hilton punched him in the head multiple times. Hilton told police he did nothing wrong and attempted to leave when officers tried to arrest him. A struggle ensued, and Hilton was eventually handcuffed and brought back to the station. Police also say security footage from the night of the fight showed Hilton beating the victim with his fists and a broken glass bottle. Hilton was charged with simple assault, recklessly endangering another person, resisting arrest, harassment, and disorderly conduct. A special dedication was held at McAdoo Clares Elementary Middle School Friday morning, and Wyln's Mackenzie Ocker tells us why.
McAdoo Clares Elementary Middle School held a bench dedication for a teacher who passed away last year. Teachers and staff came together to remember and honor her time at McAdoo Clares.
The colleagues decided that they wanted to honor her memory, so they collected funds, and they have purchased and donated this bench that will sit outside the library in the school, in which students can go into the library, get a book, sit in, read that book on her bench, and her memory will live on as long as it is placed in this school.
Tracy Wood was a 5th grade reading teacher at McAdoo Clares Elementary Middle School for 24 years before she suddenly passed away from COVID-19 in February 2021. The school was her home, where she taught over 2,400 students her love and passion of reading.
I think she had a fantastic impact. Every student was welcomed in her class, and she always conveyed her love of reading to encourage students, and I believe the students who had her were fortunate enough because they now have a love of reading from her.
The idea for the bench started when faculty and staff came together and brought up how Miss Wood was always a buddy to all at the school. Her bench sits outside the library so students can sit and grab a book to read if they need a quiet spot or in need of a buddy.
Oh, she loved reading, and she instilled a love of reading to all her students, and she had the biggest heart, the kindest soul, and loved everyone she came in contact with. And we want to thank our faculty, our staff, and our retired staff members that all contributed to make this bench a reality.
Faculty and staff at the school had the opportunity to wear green for Tracy Wood at the bench dedication ceremony.
The color green, it was decided to wear in her memory today, and just to celebrate her life, remember her, and honor everything about her. She loved her Irish heritage. She was proud of that. She always had a twinkle in her eye, and her love of Notre Dame.
Many teachers and students have been impacted by Tracy Wood here at McAdoo-Calares Elementary School. Reporting from McAdoo-Calares Elementary School for WYLN News, I'm Mackenzie Acker.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Acting Luzerne County Manager Romilda Crocamo withdrew her application for the permanent top manager position. According to an email sent to council and employees this morning, Crocamo said she withdrew her name, quote, after careful consideration. She went on to say that she believes her decision is best, quote, the best course of action for council, employees, and the county as a whole. Crocamo said she is, however, willing to remain acting manager until council selects the next permanent one. She'd then return to her position as chief county solicitor, subject to the will of her new replacement. The city of Hazleton could exit out of Act 47 sometime in 2023. According to Hazleton's state-appointed recovery plan coordinator, the city has progressed far enough through its recovery plan for a possible exit from the program. The program for financially distressed communities was adopted by City Council back in June of 2018. Mayor Jeff Cassatt also said the administration is optimistic that Hazleton will exit the program and shed its distressed status as soon as the city's eligible. The recovery plan was developed for a 5-year period that ends in 2023. President Joe Biden ordered the release of 1 million barrels of oil per day from the nation's Strategic Petroleum Reserve for 6 months. The move was made in a bid to control energy prices that have spiked after the U.S. and allies imposed steep sanctions on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. It's not known how much gas prices could drop as a result of the move, but Biden suggested it might be, quote, anything from 10 to 35 cents a gallon. According to the Department of Energy, more than 568 million barrels of oil were held in the reserve as of March 25th. After the release, the government would begin to replenish the reserve once prices have sufficiently fallen. Check your personal hygiene products for one brand of antiperspirant that's on the recall list. Unilever is recalling 2 versions of Suave 24-Hour Protection Aerosol Antiperspirant due to the possibility that it may contain benzene, a potentially cancer-causing chemical. The company said an internal review had found unexpected, slightly elevated levels of benzene. The recall affects all of the products listed on your screen, which were sold at retail stores both nationwide and online. Trout season officially kicked off over the weekend. The Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission will be stocking 3.2 million adult trout in 696 streams and 128 lakes during the 2022 season. From now until Labor Day, fishermen can keep up to 5 trout per day measuring 7 inches long, while the limit is 3 during the extended season from September 6th to February 20th, 2023. Also new this season, fishing licenses can be stored digitally on anglers' phones. Coming up on WYLN News, the giant companies healing the planet, plus what's in store this week at the Hazleton Launchbox. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Alexander Vinovo. I'm 12 years old, and this is your WYLN forecast for the week.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Jura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
In the special election on Tuesday, April 5th, vote for Robert Schnee for state representative. Robert Schnee's career is dedicated to serving Luzerne County and our families, eliminating school property taxes, supporting energy independence, protecting our constitutional rights and freedoms, fighting the tolling of Interstate 80, and providing a strong voice for our Northeast communities. Vote Robert Schnee for state representative in the special election on Tuesday, April 5th.
I'm Robert Schnee, and I humbly ask for your vote on April 5th.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
The Giant Company is partnering with Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful for the return of its Healing the Planet grant program. $300,000 in grants will be given to projects that have a main goal of improving the health and quality of waterways by protecting and enhancing the overall health of communities. Projects must be located where Giant Company operates stores in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, or West Virginia. Online applications are being accepted now through April 28th on the Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful website. The start of the 2022 season's nearing at the Bloomsburg Fair Raceway at the historic fairgrounds. The Speedway will be hosting a Test and Tune, open to any divisions on their current schedule of events this Thursday, April 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. Pit gates open starting at 5 at $25 per person, while the grandstands are free to the public. Thursday's Test and Tune will be a great opportunity for teams to make shakedown runs and prep themselves for the select race dates that'll run from mid-April through August. The season opener is set for next Thursday, April 14th. You can access the most up-to-date information and learn more on tickets and camping at racing.bloomsburgfair.com. The Hazleton Launchbox is hosting a variety of free virtual events for the public this week for Penn State Startup Week. Events will feature keys to successfully starting and operating a business, creating a sustainable business model, and planning a budget. Nearly a dozen events will be offered for participants to learn from and connect with startup founders and individuals, achieving success in diverse professional backgrounds that include business, finance, technology, science, and sports. Several events will also be offered in Spanish. The full schedule and how to register can be found online at hazleton.launchbox.psu.edu. Luzerne County Community College and Fork Over Love are teaming up for a free meal distribution. The distribution will provide 400 meals to area residents on a first-come, first-served basis starting at 5 p.m. tomorrow, April 5th, on L Tri-C's Nanticoke campus. The meals will be coming from Pizza Bella Nanticoke, Hooligans Bar and Grill, Mama Italian Pizzeria, and Pasquale's Ristorante, alongside dessert from students from the LCCC Joseph A. Paglinite Culinary Institute. Participants are being asked to avoid arriving early and can either drive or walk up to get their meal. Coming up on Barnesville's News Choice, we bring back PennDOT in Community and You, plus who's leading the way again this week. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on WYLN TV.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Abby is still perfecting her sidekick, and her jab is just for show. But for Abby, this is a remarkable day, because Abby recently defeated a real foe, cancer, when she partnered with Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, a children's hospital close to home with more than 30 pediatric specialties. Take a bow, Abby. You deserve it. Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. Your health deserves a partner.
Attention all political candidates. WYLN TV 35 is offering a free political announcement to all candidates in the WYLN TV viewing area running for office in the May 17th Pennsylvania primary election. Go to WYLNTV.com and fill out the form today. The deadline to submit your announcement is April 20th, 2022. All areas of the form must be completed, so do it today. Go to WYLNTV.com for your free political announcement. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. BLB has deals that can't be beat. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Check out their specials: oil change and filter, just $19.95. Alignment, $49.95. Professional and good people. Call 570-454-7571.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Community and You. Today we are joined by Mike Toludo and Diego Sandino from PennDOT, and we're going to be talking about work zone safety and the Move Over Law, which has just come about. It's a change from a former law, and it has been renamed for specific reasons that we're going to be talking about today. So why don't we start? First question, what can motorists do to help keep workers and themselves safe when traveling in work zones?
Well, what they need to do is to follow the rules of the road and to drive safely through work zones. Make sure they're alert, make sure they're paying attention, and follow the speed limits through the work zone.
And how many workers have unfortunately lost their lives over the years in work zone accidents?
In 2020, there was 1,412 work zone crashes, resulting in 15 fatalities. And 89 workers have lost their life since 1970.
Wow. Have speed monitoring devices played a role in safe travel?
Yes, this is a new thing that we started in 2020, where they have automatic work zone cars that go out in the work zone and track drivers in certain areas. An example is that in Pike County last week, during a shift, they recorded 3,000 people going over the speed limit of 11 miles an hour, just in that one shift.
Wow. I know you said kind of people need to be safe in those work zones, but what are some common sense tips that motorists need to follow when they're, going through those work zones?
Well, let's talk about some tips. when you're going through a work zone, expect changing traffic patterns. So the pattern is going to be different during the work zone. Drive the posted work zone speed limit. Stay alert and pay close attention to the signs and the flaggers. Turn your headlights on if the signs instruct you to do so. One key thing is to maintain a safe distance around vehicles and do not tailgate. And use your four-way flashers when stopped or traveling slowly. And avoid distractions and buckle up and always expect the unexpected.
Right, and so now we're going to kind of transition folks into more of the move over law, which if some of you haven't known, it's a change. So can we talk about the revised move over law?
It creates a new point system that imposes 2 points for failure to merge into the lane not next to the emergency response areas. Sets fine at $500 for the first-time offenders, $1,000 for a second offense, and $2,000 for a third subsequent offense. It requires a 90-day license suspension for a third or subsequent offense. The license suspension also applies to incidents that seriously injure or kill another person. The suspension is 6 months if the person is injured or killed, is emergency service provider or was near a disabled vehicle. And then this sets an additional fine of up to $10,000 for violators who injure or kill an emergency service responder or a person in or near a disabled vehicle.
Wow. So could you tell us what are the best ways for travelers to keep up to date on construction and traffic conditions?
Well, there's an app that's called 511pa.com, and where people could download it to their phone and check where the work zones are going to be, and they can also get alerts knowing where the construction is and the work zones are.
Right. All right, folks, 511PA app to check those work zone related incidents to make sure that you're driving safe out there. And remember, if you're in around a work zone, please slow your speed. Make sure that you're protecting the people who are making the roads better for us. And also remember, move over law. Please, if you see an incident such, just move over to the other lane. You don't want to cause any accidents on the roadway. But thank you guys for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And thank you, folks, for joining us here on WYLN for Our Community and You.
In the special election on Tuesday, April 5th, vote for Robert Schnee for state representative. Robert Schnee's career is dedicated to serving Luzerne County and our families, eliminating school property taxes, supporting energy independence, protecting our constitutional rights and freedoms, fighting the tolling of Interstate 80, and providing a strong voice for our Northeast communities. Vote Robert Schnee for state representative in the special election on Tuesday, April 5th.
I'm Robert Schnee, and I humbly ask for your vote on April 5th.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. With a facility that's now twice the size. Experienced nurses who see you right away. A quick assessment process makes sure you get the care you need. Advanced technology on site. Safe, private treatment rooms, and a peace of mind that only this level of care can bring. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care. Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton.
Penn State Hazleton is improving the lives of others, starting in our community.
Providing degrees that meet the needs of the area.
Fueling entrepreneurship and contributing more than $36 million annually to the state's economy.
Researching the health of our local ecosystem on the Susquehanna River.
Together, our impact keeps growing, backed by the strength of 24 campuses and 700,000 alumni.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers, But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spacemen on Wyln TV 35. Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 4, Sundays at 9.
Wyln's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Paul D'Angelo's leading the way again to kick off this week's series.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Leading the Way. I'm Philip Kaufman, and before we get started, I just wanted to explain the upcoming segments of Leading the Way for the month of April. If you weren't aware, this month is Autism Awareness Month, and so we're going to be focusing in April on the individuals leading the way and helping our community build, grow, learn, and love in autism awareness. Which brings us to our guest this week, CEO of Mission Autism Clinics, Paul D'Angelo. Welcome to the show. So why don't we start off, before we get into MAC and everything that goes on with MAC, let's talk about Paul. Tell us about growing up. You're from the area. Can you talk a little bit about just, being a kid and what inspired you and led you up to growing up this way and being Paul now?
Yeah, thanks, Philip, and I appreciate you and Wyln for inviting me on the show today. I grew up in Hazleton. I was born and raised here. My parents were also born and raised here, so we have deep ties to the community, being here for a very long time. We've seen the community go through many changes over the time, and we've always been a family to give back and support our local community. I grew up playing, youth sports and, having friends and playing in the neighborhood, and there's always been a number of, fellow kids of mine and friends of mine that either were dealing with, special needs in their family or knew someone that had special needs. Well, we, going back to giving back to the community, we always focused on children being one of the top priorities for, our support in the community. Going back to even when I was growing up playing baseball here at Coryell Baseball Field, when they started the Challenger Division, my dad and my uncle actually funded that for many years to help get it off the ground and get to where it is today, and even helped get them to Williamsport and playing the Little League World Series a few years ago. So it's definitely something that's heartwarming to us, and we're very supportive of, is helping children in the community with special needs, and autism falls under that spectrum. So really throughout the years of growing up, just having that foundation of giving back to the community was something that I wanted to continue as I grew up and became an adult. And definitely found a great opportunity and a need in our area for services for children with autism, and felt like it would make a big impact on our local communities.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Folks, we'll continue tomorrow with our next segment, our next question for the day. So thank you and have a good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page, YouTube page, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on Wyln TV.
You're watching WYLN.